Like in the war against terror, also in diplomacy, you must be careful and avoid falling in love with your own conceptions. For 20 years, the world has looked at our region, ignoring an inconvenient reality. Policymakers fell in love with conceptions, never questioning them, never doubting them. They always talked to the same journalists, think tanks, and politicians. You know, they forgot one group, the Israeli public. They profoundly misunderstood us. They couldn't understand why Israelis just don't get it. They couldn't understand why Israelis wouldn't want peace with all the blessings it would bestow on us. They promised they would guarantee our security if only we would concede our land. They promised they'd have our backs if only we did the right thing. Well, this is what they would have heard if they'd left their bubble. Rockets pierce through fluff. When a 30-year-old mother in Tel Aviv and her crying kids wake up at 3 in the morning, running to a building stairwell because a siren blares, warning of incoming rockets, there's no spin or promise that'll make her feel safe. The rockets striking Haifa, Tel Aviv, and Beersheba are the reasons that the Israeli public has moved so much to the right. Israel is a country the size of New Jersey, and it's surrounded by Hezbollah, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, and Hamas. The heart of our country, Judea and Samaria, it's the one quiet region in the entire area. We're not about to give that up. But they also missed a second point. Let me be clear. Israelis will never divide Jerusalem. Jerusalem isn't just our capital, it's our heart. If anyone thinks he can sell what every Jew prayed for during 2,000 years, they're wrong. Since Oslo, whenever we conceded land, it immediately became a terror base. You know, we tried it in the 90s when we handed over parts of Judea and Samaria. We got the debut of suicide terror, that today we see it across the world. We tried it a second time, again, in year 2000. We offered Jerusalem and a Palestinian state. In response, the Palestinians started the second intifada, killing over 1,000 Israelis in cafes and on buses. But we tried it again, a third time, in 2005. We handed over Gaza to whom? To Abu Mazen, not to Hamas. Let's remind us all. We handed it over to Abu Mazen. We withdrew our soldiers. We uprooted 8,000 Israelis, and we retreated to the 1967 lines. We did everything by the book. The whole world requires us to get out, hand over to Fatah, get back to the 67 lines. We did it. And this time, we got a series of wars. Tens of thousands of missiles fired at Beersheba and Tel Aviv. Did the world applaud us? No, we got endless condemnations from the very people who asked us to leave Gaza in the first place. You know, in my previous life, I was a high-tech CEO. One of my managers in my company came over to me and said, listen, I tried a program, it failed. But you know what? I tried the exact same thing again, and it failed again. And I tried it again, yet a third time. Yup, it failed again. Well, I'd say to him, you're fired. It's clear a second Palestinian state beyond the one in Gaza just isn't going to happen. That's a failed idea of yesterday, not the future. So what is our plan? What do we offer? Well, there's three major events that coincided to create the perfect opportunity. First one is the Arab Spring that morphed into the Muslim winter, having Arab nation states disintegrating and falling apart. The second is the Brexit and the unprecedented challenges that Europe faces at home. The third, the United States has a new president and a new administration. For the first time in 50 years, Israel needs to determine its own fate. No alibis. It's ours to decide. We have to ask ourselves, what do we want? We're at a juncture, and we have to choose what's right for Israel. So there's two main options when the dust settles. Israeli sovereignty, as in my plan on Area C, or a Palestinian state.